Workers commemorate field closing. How about here? Rifle production halted in... Experience a malfunction. I see. How about here? Promises touristic cultural renaissance. Nice. Happy I invested in that. Let's read some more news. The Royal Herald. Rufus's Grag. Royal Gossip Ball season begins. Where is Princess Vina? Free Vina, I say. Non-aligned movement in an AN group grows. AN group. The Alliance of Nations, that's what it's called. The trend reflects a strategy focused on neutrality and economic pragmatism, so it was a potential shift in the international arena. Confederacy of Vendozam faces democratic forces. I see. So they're in a bit of a mess. They're going down like us, or how I expect to go down, right? Let's see. Swedish delegation to visit Port Rizan. Oh yes. Gus Manger. Include Elena in the trade talks. Elena would normally be present for such a discussion. Requested to speak to the king alone. I will have her stay. It's not, just in case. Maybe the Sordland people will be decent to us. Federation of Anraka bolsters trade ties with Ostioke and Alpuna. Anraka. Sheesh, this is a bit of a mess. Royal degrees. Or not royal degrees. Okay, to the trade delegation. Come, visit. So on our yacht. And yes, Alfonso is here, and so is Gus. What a great idea this boat tour was. It would have been a great place to spend our entire visit. It would have been a pity to spend our entire visit trapped in a stuffy old palace. He rushed to correct himself. A beautiful, elegant old palace, Your Majesty. The whole ship let out a blast as we passed beneath the bridge. Let's show him Newtown. That's what he probably likes. Direct the store's president's attention to the glass skyscrapers of Newtown, where Rizia's banks and major corporations were headquartered. See, this is what I like about your country. Not afraid of the future. I'm not one to look backwards. Neither are you, I hear. Grandmother was definitely thinking ahead when you made those trade deals with Sordland long ago. Don't let the razzle-dazzle fool you. The skyscrapers are an eyesore. She was thinking ahead. Lucy the Great, it's not easy living in the shadows of our predecessors. The Colonel was no great fan of monarchies, as you recall. Me? I'm more flexible. Especially anti-monarchies, he plays an awful lot like a king. The only difference between Republican or monarchy is the Rizian people are happier. Nor was my father keen on democracy. You and I have much in common. Countries with differing politics can still find common ground. Exactly. Gus Manger emerged from the ship's cabin, clutching a bottle and grinning triumphantly. Ewald, they have it. I tried Contovo exactly once from a Rizian chef in Holzward who smuggled it over on a steamer trunk. I haven't stopped thinking about it ever since. He turned to me apologetically. My mutual friend Rosello mentioned in your yacht. Had an excellent wine cellar, and well, I couldn't help myself. Ah, yes. Rosello. Mr. Montero is not my friend. Rusty certainly has sampled enough wine to know what he's talking about. Or if you're impressed with that, I hate to think of the swill they must be serving in Sordland. Let's just butter him up. Man of exquisite taste. Oh, Pavel's there. Excellent choice, Mr. Manger. Please allow me. Initial taste of cherry and black pepper with a faint hint of leather. We raised our glasses. To new beginnings. I'm gonna go on our West Core. That's I guess you'd call it the national, motto of the Sordland people. To new beginnings. And a new prosperity. And new friends. Ah, here we go. All apologies to Geralt the Rubere, but this is in fact the best wine I've ever tasted. I told you, I know certain Swedish movers and shakers who'd kill to have access to a beverage of this caliber. Which brings me to the deal I suggested. Ah yes, the free trade of Rizian wine for Swedish whiskey. That's a good way to get our relationship flowing again, if you'll pardon the pun. That can't be the only reason. Call it an aperitif. Alfonso opened his attaché and pulled out a bottle of Elroy Maroon, 30-year-old. Our turn to be the connoisseurs, Your Majesty. Butler, 3 tumblers, no ice. I see. To make sure my people aren't getting an inferior product, I'll take a little bit of a sip. Like, wait, I'll do my best. I'll do the host this time. How about you people say it? Aproso. We drank, a flavor rushed over the tongue. With smoke and forest moss tapered to a sweet, silky smooth finish. Taste brought it back memories of my wilder days. Visions of broken villa windows and weekend-long blackouts came to me unbidden. It's great, but I'd rather not have it. Better not to have anymore. It's liquid gold you're leaving in your glass. Since your treasury crone isn't here, it put us a damper on proceedings. Shall we go straight to it? You're in Rizia, Mr. Manger. We treat women like equals here. Alfonso gave Gus a look of warning. I apologize on the behalf of my minister. It's always good to knock down your people like that if you can find like a good moral ground to knock them on. Get him off balance. Told him to leave his baser impulses at home. I assure you, Sordland is making progress in the status of women. Some of my most trusted ministers belong to the fairer sex. Alfonso reopened his briefcase and took out some paperwork. It's all boilerplate, really. The governments of Rizia and Sordland recognize the importance of promoting economic growth and cooperation and desiring to enhance their mutual interests, conducted in a manner consistent with respective domestic roles and regulations. Keep listening. He went on. Parties shall agree to cooperate in the development and implementation of sanitary measures. Implementation of tariffs to be completed within 6 months from the tree of force. Respective custom procedures and other trade-related and transparent, efficient, and predictable. He went on again. In equal amounts of 100 tons of wine and 50 barrels of whiskey per year, subject to availability. Wait. Equal amounts? Demand for Rizian wine in Sordland is far higher than so does whiskey in Rizia. Good catch. We change the section if you'd like. Quantity is subject to market demand. Demand in Rizia will skyrocket once Erlori Maroon hits the market, trust me. So does it trade, Your Majesty? What should we do? Get the real reason why you're here. To screw me over. Try you here to screw me over. Let's do that. Very well. One more proposal. As much as Sordland's most valued citizens would appreciate your wine, we believe there's something else they'd find more stunning. Just to the surroundings, then down to the short-sleeved shirt he was wearing. We thought of Rizia's untapped tourism potential, Your Majesty? Of course. Yes, I'm listening. It's gorgeous enough, but your beaches. I know that for a long time, and I'm trying to develop my tourism. Long time, international tourists stayed away from Van Creese coasts because of the delicate situation of Pales. Oh, it's Palais. Very well. I'm not going to correct. My point is that it might be finally time to bring your undeveloped shores to life. I took the liberty of hiring a designer to draw this up. He reached inside his jacket pocket and pulled out a sheet of paper with a sketch on it. I recognized the beach depicted it. It was a picturesque sketch of sand and monkeys that formed the palace I'd grown up. One of the coastline of the Viner placed a sprawling complex with a swimming pool and tennis courts on it. The sign Coronti Resort following Crease. No, I'm not bringing Swedish new money into Rizia. I might. It's missing a private peer, or would that be senior or junior Coronti? Because there's 2 of them. They're kind of oligarchs. You've done your research, I see. This is Marcel's initiative, along with certain other members of the Lotharberg group. Our partners are considering significant investments on the Volungary's coast. If it went well, the Quarantine Resort would be only the first step. Ponzo swirled the last drops of whiskey around in his glass. I'm aware of how your nobles see swordish oligarchs. I'm also aware of how the world sees renowned wishes have diminished with each successive generation. Change is not merely inevitable, Your Majesty. It's the only way to preserve the lifestyle to which you're all so accustomed. Your grandmother understood that. I don't want to insult people about Bulgarians. We don't need Sordland's help as they're wealthy. I'm the king. The nobles have no choice but to acquiesce. I'm the king. The nobles would have no choice but to acquiesce. So you guess the proposal? Yes, as long as the final design is less gaudy. Very well. Alfonso rubbed his hands together. In less than an hour, we've accomplished more for our countries than our predecessors managed in 30 years. So they calls for a celebration. Butler, another bottle. His name is Pablo Adria. Show some respect, like I care about him. It's enough, Mr. Manager. I'm cutting you off. He's our butler, not yours, Pablo. You heard the man, Pablo. He reappeared within the bottle in his hand. He filled the glass as a neutral expression on his face. The yacht began to turn back towards Port de Razon as the sun disappeared over the horizon. Well, trade deals. Framework for product economic cooperation. Very good. Ooh, we got another postcard. Oh, here's the stuff we have. Wedding ring. A royal gold bar. No clue what that is. Visit the store to purchase this item. Kingdom of Rizia store. Kingdom of Rizia store, it makes sense. Sticking out your gat for the Rizzler. Turn. Why do I keep saying that? The disaffected MUR drug trade node. Oh yeah. Neutral best nearest and neutral richest. No autonomous provincial policing. Good. Legalized recreational substance abuse. Nice. I mean use. Whoopsie. High amount. Denial of welfare service for gold colonists. Very well. The oil field's been depleted and we finished the resource deal. Nothing more to do about that. Let's see about our news here. Rizia assigns a pair of historic deals with Sordland. Very good. Non-interventionism gains momentum in Arcadia under Devereaux. Arcadia capitalism. Well. Sordland and Rizia reestablish ties. Yes, she's technically our historical. She is their historical enemy. That's true. Need to report. Source reprieved for conducting military exercise close to the territorial border. That was a mistake. Why would you do that? Leisure club closed amid homosexual revelations. Well. The gay club got shut down. We have one more here. Conversation with Vina. We can do the ship log jam. We have to upgrade our docks here, huh? Got this. Commission Torres family statues. One that honors King Valero, another showcasing the King of Alexander Romus, a grand portrayal of the recent Torres lineage. Let's just do Valero. Because that's all we can do. Country relationship unlocked. What's that mean? Okay, maybe I read that wrong. Okay, small keys. Yes, my daughter. How are you doing, my daughter? It was low tide. The waves of Antichaean Sea lapped at the sands below the cliffs of Monkeys. A trail was carved into the cliffside, just wide enough for a single horse. Vina picked up speed as she guided her mare, Lizzie, around a sharp curve. Go faster yourself. Faster, remember what I taught you. Yes, let's all die in a horse accident. Meet you at the beach. She threw herself into horseback riding after Lena died. We kept a few horses and Portrazon as well, but Lizzie was her favorite. Followed her at a leisurely pace, taking time to gaze back up at the hill of Palace Marquise, with Hubertus Torras governing the province from his own estate. I was free to visit my old home and its private beach anytime I liked. At the bottom of the trail was a sheltered cove where Pavel had laid out a picnic lunch. I dismounted and sat next to Vina. You didn't have to come back to Marquise with me, Father. I wanted to. Or I'm grateful for the break, or I've got some glad handing here anyway before the Swedish invasion begins. I wanted to. I'm such a nice guy. Deciding the fate of the country together, this seems screams quality time to me. I don't know how much we're deciding. Sometimes I feel like it's out of our hands. Mother was right about a few things. It's not healthy to spend too long in those chambers, or keep all that enthusiasm and it'll serve you well when you're older. It's not healthy to spend all the time in the chambers. She picked a lobster salad sandwich from the picnic basket and nibbled at it. A solemn silence descended as we stared out at the waves. 8 years since she died. When I'm here, it might as well have been yesterday. Since who died? I honestly don't think about it that often. You almost died that day too, you know. Sometimes I wish I had. I can't even dip my toe in the water or it'll all come rushing back. Okay, great. Try not to think about it. No, okay, we have to go through it anyway. Sickening sound of the boat made as its girders splintered, calling out for my wife over and over until my voice finally gave out. The beep of the hospital machines as I told Vina to say goodbye to her mother for one last time. Was there anything I could have done to save her? In another timeline, were there 3 of us sitting on this beach instead of 2? Tears formed at the corner of my eyes. Pray. I muttered a prayer. My daughter didn't join me, but maintained a respectful silence. It'll get easier with time, it did for me. Grief isn't a straight line. Gotta move forward. You're in a better place now. Grief isn't a straight line. It's always high tide for me, and I'm not sure I even want to come up for air. Oh, jeez. That's fucking depressing. But you must be feeling the same way about Mother, otherwise you would have remarried by now. 8 years and not so much as a date. I've had dates, just nobody worth telling you about. Feels useless to try. Looking after you's been my number 1 priority. Can't use that as an excuse for much longer. She nervously picked a hand full of sand and let it run through her fingers. So if you were to meet someone, what if you had a son? Who would be your successor when you died? What makes you think Rizia would still be ruled by a monarch by the time I died? That's not good. Let's declare you next in line. Rizia needs a queen. You'd be the successor. You don't have anything to worry about. Probably be you, even though I know you are not totally trustworthy, but the other siblings should inherit the throne no matter the sex. You're fine. She's a little bit too moderate for me. What? It's just... Grandmother is always on about how I need to find the right husband. How important is it to you really, woman Mary? Your marriage status matters not only to me, but the whole country. That's very true. Does that mean you're planning to marry me off, like your father did to you? My arranged marriage is the best thing that ever happened to me, that's true. She fixed me with a stare. You and Mother were lucky to fall in love. Most such marriages are miserable. You could use another one of your royal obligations. You know, take a lover on the side. Wow. You want to be queen? That's part of it. A single wedding can accomplish more than 100 political conferences. She mulled over my words for a moment. I appreciate your honesty. I do know we royals must make compromises in our personal lives. She hopped astride Lizzie. Sorry to run, but one of the countesses from my school days has invited me for tea. She's just a few states down the beach from here. She's meeting with that son of a bitch. The reformist. Titus, send one of you men to keep an eye on her. Sure thing, Your Majesty. You appeared from right a rock. I won't get into trouble, but I understand the need for protocol. She rode away. Very well. Welcome back, Your Majesty. Where's the princess? She's too fast for her old man. But you used to be quite the rider yourself. There's a warm bath waiting for you upstairs, in case you're sore from the ride. You read my mind, Pavel. All part of the job. I waited at Palace Monkey's master bedroom, or an enormous cloth where a tub was filled to the brim with soapy, eucalyptus-scented water. I dressed and got in. Scrubbed my red arm. Oh yeah. Tapping me at the door so soft I thought it was imagining it at first. Your Majesty? Yes. May I come in? I forgot to leave you a towel. Come in. Powell entered a fluffy towel in his arms. He hung it on the hook of the wall. There was an identical towel on the hook next to it. 2 towels. Are you crazy, Pavel? Is there another reason why you wanted to come in? He took a step closer to the tub, conscientiously keeping his eyes on the wall. Actually, there was something I wanted to bring up without any guards around. Sounds serious, then. It might be or might not be. I'm not sure. There's a small stool next to the tub. He moved over to it and sat his back next to me. No need for modesty. Oh, pardon me. He turned around and still think you would only look at my face. He spoke the next word slowly. Your Majesty, how much have you been told about your father's death? Do you suspect something? Well, this is what I know. Remember my father, the groundskeeper? When I was younger, he showed me every single plant in the gardens of Rizia, or Palace Resna. One of them was mandragora, big green leaves, pretty purple flowers. He told me you can make an extract from its roots. A little bit helps you sleep. More than that causes delirium, and a lot stops your heart. I see where this is going. I know it seems preposterous, but the night His Majesty King Valero died, I brought him his evening cup of tea as usual. He seemed in a daze as if he didn't recognize me. A few days later, afterwards, I went out to the part of the gardens where my father had planted my mandragora. Nothing but a smooth patch of dirt. When's the last time you saw the plant? 2 months before that, I remember the flowers blooming. Who was around the palace that night? Queen Mother? The wise man, Titus, and his men? And your uncle was meeting Zorro. Could someone have slipped it into his supper? I was tasting all of His Majesty's food at the time, so whoever would rather creative. Wouldn't the coroner have caught it? May not have raised a flag. Alright, so what would the motivation be if there was actually poisoning? What could have simply put you on a throne? Yeah, no one wanted to be king that badly. No matter, I would urge caution. There's so few people he trusted by the end. If my suspicions are correct, it means that one of them took advantage of that trust. And all those people are still in your inner circle today. I see, I'm going to have to look further into this potential investigation. Ooh, that sounds fun. Thanks for bringing this to my attention. Now, what do you think I should do next, Pavel? I wish I knew. Try to find out as much as you can without raising suspicion, I guess. I'll keep an ear out. Palace gossip gets around. Yes, you tormented me in my childhood, but as royal butler, it's my job to have your back. He's helping us out a lot here. Is this going to be a major changing point for the king? I think I like the idea that he's getting a little bit softer, and you know what? That's actually the case. We've been doing more diplomacy and all that stuff. He's kind of changing for the better. She's not really what I intended, but he's trying to be a strong king, but a fair king, if that makes any sense. And he feels kind of bad about that, especially since Pavel is helping us now. Take my leave now. Hope the water is still warm. Yes. Very well. Territory of Zeal. Preparations underway for this ceremony. Very good. Good old President Smolak. Oh. Walker Plan drives economic growth in central Mokopa. Augments ATO's reach. The Walker Plan. New parliamentary faction Rumors in Rumburg. Hmm? More sort of foreign policy, okay. Save the Arufeld. I have no clue what that is. Okay, so gold mining shit, I don't care. Fuck you. Suffer. Propaganda ban. Allow the propaganda. Ban all of it. Definitely ban it. And private audience with the Golden Guard. Oh, I spent too much authority and budget. Ah, yes. Hello, Hugo. Yes, we have to meet regarding the Golden Guard. From meeting with Captain Gordion, there's nothing to be gained. Fostering a robust relation. There's much to be gained in fostering a robust relationship. Agreed, not sure what is to be gained, but I'm willing to keep an open mind. I highly doubt it. I've never held forged close relationship with a security detail in the past. Personal relationships inconsequential. What matters most is his ability to perform his duties. I'll keep an open mind. We'll probably need the security. And if he can be trusted, that's good. Excellent. Even if nothing comes of it, though I'm optimistic something will, your willingness to engage in meaningful conversation is encouraging. It's all well and good, but I'm most interested in knowing where his allegiances lie. There's never been more loyal subjects than Captain Titus Gordian, who lives and breathes honor and devotion. And I look forward to seeing him live up to your expectations. It wasn't long before we crossed the country yard and reached their armory, which also served the Golden Guard's headquarters. As we approached, a pair of soldiers flanked on the other side of the entrance greeted us with a formal salute. We salute back. He's training. He's boxing. My money is on Captain Gordion. What do you say? 50 guilder? Gordian, probably, right? No, you take the other guy. My money's on Captain Gordion. Very well. Let the best man win. Here's my man has the upper hand, Hugo. Afraid you might be right. Ah, good. We won. Whose Titus has emerged victorious. Looks like I owe you. And now pay up. Double or nothing. No, I wouldn't do that. It was a lighthearted wager. I watched Captain Gordian, whatever, helped the other men to his feet. Wasting too much energy running around the ring. Next time, just take one step and pivot. Your Majesty, many apologies. I didn't see you there. Much earlier than I expected. Earlier than I expected, rather. Before my usual time, I should be the one apologizing. No need to apologize. The lack of observation is disappointing. Your oversight is evident, and punctuality shouldn't be a surprise. Let's go with that one. No need to apologize, just like in the ring, timing can be a challenge. Very true, sir. I must say, that's quite the right hook you have. Go to see my former boxing days. I've always enjoyed it, though I don't follow it regularly. It should be enough. You really should, though I'm a little biased. Regardless, we should go. I got plenty to talk to. Let's go with that. If you come with me, I can take you somewhere more secluded. Captain Gordion removed his boxing gloves as he headed towards an entrance to another wing of the armory. Okay. Let's go. I brought most of this out of storage as soon as I took command. A considerable portion of what you see here was in bad shape and required extensive refurbishment. Always loved this old stuff. Bows and arrows seems a bit outdated, don't you think? I drew a laugh from my uncle while the captain simply smiled. Well, you have several trebuchets on standby in case you need to fling cows at the enemy. Ha, as long as you have the green light from animal rights activists. but all seriousness. If you desired, I'd be honored to provide you with the background and history of anything here. Tempting, but no thanks. I don't have time for this. Nonsense. You be so bold, your grace. There are valuable lessons that can be learned looking at Rizia's past. Lessons that can be addressed in present-day situations should they arise. Oh, very well, Captain. The sword. Prominently displayed at the room. Traidor's Fury. Lost our support port. We managed to keep our enemy from making it further inroads. I see. Hell's being annexed from Rizia. That's what keeps me awake at night. Indeed, it's no spot in our history. If you'd like, Your Majesty, I can have the sword polished for ceremonial use. That would be great. Is there anything more curious about? How about that impressive suit of armor? King Henricus Torras, the first ancestry from whom all members of your house are descended. Securing power monkeys, his dynasty maintained a stronghold of the city-state throughout the Marquian era, and upon the foundation of the Kingdom of Rizia, assumed control of the neighboring Whelen Crease. Must you know that already, am I right? Yes, I want to see if it can fit me. Everyone back there was much shorter, so unfortunately I don't believe it would, given my frame. That's too bad. If you really want a suit of armor that fits, I'm sure we can arrange something. I don't need that. That's okay, it'd look ridiculous anyway. What else do you want to know? Whatever that is. Metal coffin-like structure that stood upright. Saint Mercy, our aptly named Iron Maiden. Ah, yes. No, I'm not kidding. Having no hasn't been used in quite some time. Too bad. I had a lot of fun to be had with that thing. Kidding, of course. It's rumored to have been used on suspected spies during the War of Rizian Succession. Ah, yes. I hope it comes to me as no surprise that 3 Rizian houses once used it as torture devices on one another. What else can I tell you about? Move on. Very well. This way, sir. We continued onward until we reached Captain Gordian's office in the far side of the hall. It too was adorned by a large collection of war memorabilia. He gestured to a sitting area. Please have a seat. Don't mind if I do. Sit down. You care for some wine? It's a bit early, but what the hell? Never too early for a toast amongst gentlemen, Your Majesty. Pour a seat your glass. I do hope it isn't the only bottle in existence. Fortunately, it is my only one, but I'm sure there are others hidden away elsewhere in the kingdom. Too bad, I'm really enjoying this too. I just placed the bottle elsewhere before he settled into a chair across from mine. So what do I owe the pleasure of this visit? Of your visit, rather. Looking to develop a clearer understanding of the individual compromising my security detail. I have many enemies. I want to make sure you're not one of them. I wanted to get away with guns to a real commoner. Get to know you better. Yes. I don't see why not. What would you like to know? Could you help with the murder investigation? Hugo straightened up, suddenly more alert. If you were granted the resources, such an investigation would not be out of the question. Would you care to elaborate? I will, should the need arise, because Hugo might be involved somehow. I've yet to determine if there's sufficient justification for such an inquiry. So we'll keep that in our back pocket, for now. For now, anyway. In the future, who knows? Even during my intimate moments, do you have your eyes on me? It is our utmost aim to protect the royal family's security while respecting your privacy. You expect that we'll be watching you and your family members in public, standing guard outside any rooms you enter. What you do in that room is no business of ours. And what if I want you to watch me? Good, that's the correct answer. Discretion is the Golden Guard way. What do you deem the biggest threat to my personal safety right now? He looked around and back to me. The government security forces seem to have a handle on the populace, but who has a handle on them? I don't want to overstep my bounds so early into my employ, but I believe the Azeros. Impose a threat, yes, I've wondered. Please don't worry, His Majesty, with such speculations. House Azaro and House Taurus have been close allies since the War of Rizia succession. I wouldn't be surprised if they had designs on the throne. I agree. I agree with Titus. I'll try to keep a close eye on them, and the limited resources the Golden Guard has been given. That will be all. Thank you. Is there anything else I can do for you? Don't hesitate to ask. Thank you again for your hospitality, Captain. I think it was a very productive meeting, if I do say so myself. I hope you're right. I know I'm right. Self-assuredness is a quality I value. My experience, a little confidence goes a long way. You could pause and scrutinize me for a moment. A murder investigation? Your Majesty, is there something you'd like to tell me? As I said, I was asking hypothetically. Very well. I was only wondering. You and I said our goodbyes and parted ways. I wasn't fully sold on whether or not Titus could be trusted, but satisfied knowing that my influence over him remained strong. For now. Okay, so our country relationship has fallen to light, and Vagaslan is unfriendly. Shame. Oh yes, the oil field has totally been exhausted. Shame. Shame, shame, shame. Okay, what else do we have here? And it's gonna be soon. Ideally, anyway. Criticize Rizia ban of monarchy propaganda. Sign of regime that's scared of change. Okay, well, I am a monarchy, so. Serenists seek refuge in. Oh, man, what the hell? Okay, so there's people doing stuff. Was that Rizia Friendship Day? And this will be the last one that I do for now. Points off the sky was growing darker for just the tinted windows of the armored car. Our motorcade slowed as it approached the diesel border. A concrete barrier rose up in front of us, its top strung with barbed wire. My mother insisted accompanying me to the Wezak Rizia Friendship Day festivals. She leaned against the window, uncharacteristically quiet. What are you thinking about? Actually, let's talk about Pavel. He talks. I always thought saw him as a sort of walking hors d'oeuvres platter. Hors d'oeuvres platter, rather. Was Father acting out of the ordinary on the night of his death? Any more than the ordinary than ordinary, you mean? No, he went to bed early as he'd been doing for months, a symptom of old age for some. Why do you ask? Do we trust her? Do we trust her? That's the question. Pavel thinks that Father was poisoned. And they say butlers have no imaginations. My father had a long list of enemies and an equally long list of safeguards against them. His worries were what stopped his heart. Say, might we have time for a quick detour once we reach town? Of course. She leaned forward and gave the driver an address. Promise me you'll get these highways back up and running once Zeal is returned. Of course. To the top of my list. Factory smokestacks rose up on either side of us. Through the haze, I spotted a number of numerous shanty towns built over the past few years to house miners and refinery workers. We entered the city and drove through a maze of tenement buildings. Facades hastily repainted that hide the damage from the war 20 years ago. As my mother instructed him to, the driver veered down a side street and led us to the coast. We stopped in front of a small wooden building with a collapsed roof. The front porch was partly buried in sand, jagged teeth of broken glass lined the door frames. They say you can't go home. Rarely did they mean it literally. Is where you grew up? She nodded. I never brought my parents here after they fled to Rizia. I knew it would have broken their hearts. It would break their hearts. I wish they could have seen it one last time, the way it used to be. Tried to slip in memories of my grandparents. They'd spent the last 10 years of their lives at Palace Resna, surrounded by luxury, yet they always seemed ill at ease. Well, I'll have it fixed up one day. The ship has sailed, child. Just think, if I hadn't convinced Valero to get Whelen involved in affairs, none of this could have happened. She looked down at her hands. Wezek president back then was such an upstanding man. How could I have known he'd go and get himself killed? If you're so upstanding, you wouldn't have agreed to stop out a democratic revolution. It's not your fault, father. You should have reneged on the agreement immediately after the assassination. Period of instability all across Mercopa. Because the superpower is trying to use the country as a pawn. Nobody forced Victor Smolak to turn my homeland into this country's armpit. Enough dallying, driver. Step on it. We've got a date with the psychopath. And indeed, he is a psychopath. Say well about Smolak, but he never makes a dull entrance. Dozen uniformed soldiers hurriedly got into formation around us in a limo. The door opened and Victor Smolak stepped out. Your Majesty, King Romus, Queen Mother Estella. He made a sweeping, exaggerated bow and straightened up with a grin. Welcome to Whelen. Please make yourselves at home. It's heartening to see that Zeal remains in good hands. Mr. President, I wish I could say this. I could say I was happy to be here. Actually, Mr. President, this is my mother's home. Thank you, Mr. Let's say it's good hands. We'll have to butter him up. He's an egomaniac dictator, so... Yes, the square used to be gray and boring. Now look at it. He gestured to the square where a colorful banner reading 24 years of Wezak Rizian's friendship hung over a trio of gleaming tanks. Ah yes, nothing symbolizes friendship like heavy artillery. I'm going to speak with you in terms of this friendship. It's my first time in ceremonies. What's going to happen? Where did you get those tanks? Rizia isn't Whelan's only friend, Your Majesty. The square is surrounded by grandstands, one side decorated in the colors of Whelan's flag and the other in Rizia's red and gold. I heard loud cheers emanating from them. I've invited the finest representatives from both those countries to join us for the special occasion. Follow me, if you will. A semi-circular stage was set up in front of the tanks. The crowd roared as we crossed the stage and crossed the square and made our way over to it. Looking up into the grandstands, I noticed the guards standing at every level. Captive audience, that would explain the enthusiasm. Maybe they're happy. They don't get too many excuses for celebration around here. Mother and I took our seats. Victor stepped up to the microphone. Wizaks, Rizians, people of Zeal. 24 years ago, the glorious country of Whelen was given custody over this land, a great honor and a tremendous responsibility. We didn't only gain new territory that day, we gained new friends. He gestured meaningfully towards the Rizian side of the stands. After a few seconds, they broke out in scattered applause. My mother muttered a harsh-sounding curse in the Zeal dialect. We have to play nice. Together, we've overcome war, repaired our economy, made great strides in science and industry. Even the decision of the Torres family to ally with Rumberg, a nation that obviously wishes well and harm, could not diminish the beautiful bond we have formed. I look forward to strengthening the bond for many, many years to come. He stepped to the side and pulled a rope attached to a flagpole with a massive Wezak flag unfurled, and then a much smaller Rizian one. Let him finish his speech. Today, I am especially delighted to be blessed with the presence of Rizia's new king, as well as Queen Mother. The Queen Mother, of course. They are heirs to a long, proud legacy, one that would have been shattered had Whelen and Rizia not made the fateful decision to work hand in hand. On that note, please give a warm welcome to King Romus Toras. I rise. And the Rizian side of the stands immediately erupted into loud, authentic-sounding applause. Oh, naturally. And thank you, President Smolak. I stand before you at the dawn of a new era. The reign of Valera Torres is over. That sounds awful, considering he's my father. You may not know it, but I'm the grandson of Zeal. The Green Mother and I have deep ties to this land, or it is an honor to be here in Zeal on the anniversary of our historic treaty. Do we emphasize that we're from Zeal, or do we emphasize the treaty? Let's do the treaty, just to make sure that people remember. In pain, my father signed away this beautiful part of Rizia, yet I knew it was for a greater good. Today marks a chance to make a clean break with the past and begin looking forward towards the future. I never forget what Whelen did for my family and my country. I know none of the Rizians here today asked for their homeland to be governed by Whelen. I myself had no choice in the matter. Okay, that's not it. Let's go for number 3, I think. I never forget what Whelen did for my family and my country. In 1 year, Rizia will bring governorship of Zeal, but I hope that will not mean the end of our country's friendly cooperation. I commend Victor Smolak for his exemplary leadership in the face of born terrorism. past few years have not been kind easy for any of you, but the time will come when we are united. But I have come here to send Victor Smolak a warning. If Zeal does not return, your face Rizia is full of retaliation now. Let's butter him up a little bit more. His exemplary leadership in the face of war and terrorism. I pledge to support Rizzians and Wezaks alike with the upcoming peaceful transfer of power and the best for the Whelen with best for real since back in Rizzia's custody. As Atheo encroaches on our continent, it's important that the nations of southeastern Makopa unite as one. Like one big country. Despite our political differences, Rizia and Whelen have much in common. There's no limit to what we can accomplish together. I pledge to support Rizzians and Wezaks alike through the peaceful transfer of power. The king has spoken. Valorous Axa Rizia, all hail Whelen. No, let's say all hail our friendship. You have to give me the praising glance and readjusted the microphone. What a speech, the king's got charisma. What are you, television announcer? We have a terrific evening of entertainment lined up, but first we must commemorate this landmark meeting of the world leaders of a traditional triple tank salute. After you, Mr. Smolak. Victor Smolak special. Victor raised a finger in the air. 1. Taking the left fire, sending a plume of cold smoke high over the stands. The crowd gasped in excitement. 2. The gun mounted to take the right run off. This smoke was magenta. The count was interrupted by an unidentified voice in the distance shouting, "For the king!" Oh no. Victor whipped his head around in a shock, a frenzied look in his eyes. I turned to my mother. Who was that? I don't. The defending blast, much louder than the two that preceded it, echoed from the opposite end of the square. I turned to the source of the sound and saw Wizak's side of the stands engulfed in flames. We have to find a way to dull this, because obviously Victor has screwed us over here. This is a provocation of his. Let's run towards the stands. Your Majesty, get down! Titus drove at me and tackled me to the ground. Scares of fear and confusion were rising up all around. Where's Smolak? Promise. Mother and Victor were still on the podium, surrounded by a thick cordon of Wizard guards. Get me over there, Titus. We'll be fine. We have to get you out of here. He and Smolak's guard exchanged a series of hand signals, and the crowd began to flee in every direction. Titus grabbed my arm and swiftly started to usher me away. I took one last look back. Smoke was now rising over the Wizard's grandstand. Part of the structure had collapsed. The soldiers were working to free the people trapped beneath. The next few moments were a blur as we made our way through the panicked horde of civilians. Victor's limo pulled up and Titus roughly shoved me inside. Thank God you were safe. My mother's face shook. She and Victor were sitting across from me, looking dazed. We're going to get to the bottom of this. It's no great mystery, Your Majesty. Smolak had eyes in his fire in his eyes. People have anything to do with this, there will be a price to pay. Kept his eyes on me as the car began pulling away. You piece of shit. You little dickhead. Alright, King unharmed in Zeal bombing. Will Zeal incident disrupt fragile bond between Rizia and Whelen? Well, so much for being polite. When they can tell you reached it through our accounting. In the grandstands, yeah, of course. Sue Omanism, the suspicion, huh? Interesting. I don't believe you. Ties tattered.